it's probably time for hearing a story. And I know you have an important story to tell. And Robyn, I'd love it if you go first.
Oh, sure. So, all right. So, like I said, my 20-year-old son, Nick, passed, and it was really the last thing I had expected to happen in my life. And it put me in a really dark place. My family was worried, Robyn, who was a go-getter, was on the couch and not doing really well. And, one thing that I found helpful to myself was to go to his grave site every day. It was just down the street, so it was easy to get to.
Certainly.
I would just go there just to, I don't know, just be closer to where maybe I felt like his spirit was or something. I couldn't really explain why, but it was a need. Like if I couldn't be there, I was going to be really, really upset. So much like I went away for a couple of days one time. I asked my sister, could she go in my place to just go to the grave, and be there in that area. And luckily she would do that for me, which I'm blessed for. But, and it was a changeable place, right? There would be new flowers that would grow, grass would grow, and things like that. It's only very in the very beginning. I hadn't even, been there that long, but I could already see these changes happening. And, with each change of something, it was like Nick was growing a little farther away from me, and it wasn't being helpful for me to be there. It felt
Mm.
scarier, but I still put myself to go there every day. And um right away, there's no gravestone. That's something you have to do. You have to order, you have to make, you have to design. And
Yeah.
hard, right? To do that for your son.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to bury your child. You're not supposed to do it. So an excruciating thing, but we came up with it together as a family, and my daughter helped design it, which was really nice. Um, and the gentleman had told me that he, would tell me once the stone was going to go in.
Mm.
And I would turn the corner every day and there would, be Nick's spot, and it was flat and it just had a little tiny paper sign that was in plastic and it said Nick Bean and his date of death. And I turned the corner one day and without warning, the stone was there. That put me in such a tailspin. I get choked up, when I
Oh,
talk about
yeah.
it, because
Um,
the permanence of that piece of granite just, this is real. This happened and he's never coming back. There's your family name on a stone, and it was just horrifying is the word I would use. I just broke down. I started sobbing, just lying on that grass there. I can smell that smell of that grass. That's how poignant that memory is. Like it just takes me right back there. And I remember a car driving by slowly and just kind of looking out the window, like, is this lady, okay? But they didn't stop, which I don't know what it would have happened if they did. But it was almost at that moment I was like, I can't do this without him. I just can't do this. I don't want to do it. How about that? I don't want to live my life without my son. This is sad. This is not the way your life is supposed to go. And I just didn't know, like, how do you keep going? How do you keep doing what you need to do for the rest of your family, for yourself? And in that moment that I was just hysterical. And there was this dragonfly that just came out of nowhere. And it flitted around for a minute and then it just landed right on me. And it shook the hystericalness right out of me. Like it just brought me to what is going on here? What is going on here? Why is this dragon? Why did that happen at this particular moment? And you hear symbolism of dragonflies and birds and things like that when people pass and things like that. And I just took them as like whatever. But this moment, that interactiveness with the dragonfly just made me come back into my space, got me out of my hysterical moment. And for a moment, I talked to that dragonfly as if it was my son, Nick. You know, the words don't matter what was said, at that moment, but I had time that I spent with Nick talking, and I could see the little tiny eyes on this dragonfly. I'd never seen a dragonfly up so close, and it was profound. It was just amazing to look at this creature just looking right back at me. We had made some connection
Mm,
that I never really had experienced anything in my life like that. And I talked and I said the things that I needed to say to Nick, to the world. Um, I didn't have a lot of support at that time outside of just my family. And it felt good to say some things out loud. And I said how pissed I was that the stone was there, and, thank you for stopping me from being so out of control and sitting with me for a little bit. I was thankful to that dragonfly for bringing me back and making me feel like a sense of calm,
mm,
as I was here. I was frantic, and this just brought me like, it soothed me. And
mm.
um it started to fly away, and I said, wait, Nick, come back. Don't go, I'm not ready. And the dragonfly came back, and it landed on me again.
Oh my God.
And I I took out my camera because I knew no one would hear this and believe me at that moment. So I have a little video of this dragonfly sitting with me. And I talked again and I said, thank you for coming back. And I said the things that I needed to say that I hadn't said in that first moment. And eventually the dragonfly flew away, but I didn't feel, when it first flew away, that first time I felt like a little nervous, like what? And now I said, no, it's okay. I know that there is more to this world than I can explain. There's more than just me. It's a bigger space. It's something that is unexplainable, but it will live with me forever. And it changed me in that moment. In that moment, I knew you're going to go on. You're going to be able to do something. You're not going to be a crumpled mom lying on the grass in a graveyard. You're just not going to be that person. And so that is my moment of wonder and awe. And I thank whatever brought that to happen that day. I'm so thankful for it, because I think that was part of the reason that I started grief groups and getting people together to know
My
that they
God.
could, you know,
Mm,
if that moment hadn't happened, I don't know if this is where I would be right now. So it was a life-changing moment when that happened.
wow.
Yeah.
My God. My God. You guys were in such sync, whatever was going on.
Yeah. Yeah. And I did
Amazing.
tell a few people, about that, but then you pack it away and you hold on to it
Yeah.
for yourself. And it feels amazing to be able to tell a story again, because I can feel that anxiety that I felt before it happened. And then I feel the calm and the peace that it brought me. And just that, it's like sometimes when you feel like the room just gets really much bigger than you know that feeling?
Mm,
It happens when I tell that story again. Like, it's just like, you just feel you're just this part of the universe. There's so much more out there that you just can't explain. So it's really amazing.
boy.